When I was a kid growing up in Virginia, I lived not far from colonial Williamsburg, and this was before the Williamsburg became such a theme park. And you could literally drive there, park your car, wasn't that hard to do, and walk into the 1770s. It was an amazing experience, and I think it shaped my interest in the architecture of history, which is an interest that still consumes me to this very day. So when I moved to the Blackstone Valley 5 or 6 years ago, I was immediately struck, of course, by the mills. These, in many instances, enormous structures that sort of rise out of the countryside and almost serve as monuments to everything that occurred here. An amazing boom and an amazing bust. And these, of course, were the textile mills of the Blackstone Valley that were built here to take advantage of the Blackstone River itself and the power generated by the fall of the river from Worcester on its 50-mile journey to Providence. Falls about 500 feet. And it was water power was what made industry possible at the time. It was the only viable source of energy. And so it created an enormous boom all along the river. And at one point there was a mill and a dam nearly every mile all the way from Providence to Worcester. And they processed literally millions of tons of textiles. The cotton, the raw material for the cotton, of course, came from the slave plantations in the South. Even after the Civil War, the sharecropper system supplied much of the cotton that went into making the mills possible. So it's a very difficult story. The mills were also tended by hundreds of thousands of workers drawn from many corners of the world, and in the process of generating enormous wealth for some. And the fate of the other individuals, the other families involved in making the mills possible was much more uncertain. The mills also generated enormous pollution, ultimately leaving the river, which had nurtured it, to be described at one point in the late 1970s as one of the most polluted rivers in the United States. It was a poster child for the passage of the Clean Water Act. But the mills still sit, and I think still have a story to tell us, even though the work and the money's gone elsewhere. Some mills are abandoned, some burned. It's a tremendous fire hazard. Some have been repurposed, thankfully, to more productive ends, and some still wait. So this is part of a series of images that I've done, which I've exhibited in several different galleries, that is intended to explore the nature of industrialization and deindustrialization, of boom and of bust. And what I hope raises the question of whether or not there was another way.